From New York City, it's the Wendy Williams Show. Today, from the celebrity hacking scandal to Chris Brown's latest shocking video, it's Hot Topics with our first Hot Talk panel of the season. And the Jersey Housewives shocker. Teresa and Joe are headed to prison. Wendy's got the latest. Plus, fall's best shoes. Now, here's Wendy.
Co-host, the studio audience. It's fantastic. Pretty good. Let's get started. It's time for a Hot Topic. Show. You know, everyone, you and I'll talk. Let them carry on. Listen, Teresa and Joe had their day in court yesterday, and it's not pretty. The judge, that's them actually going into court. They didn't make eye contact with anybody. The judge did not go easy on them. A lady judge named Esther. You know, there were no cameras allowed in the courtroom. There's so many juicy yet sad details in this case that I really want to break it down for you. My opinion, of course, but I need a legal expert here. So we got in contact with one of our favorite legal experts, and she will be here on Monday. So forgive me, but I want to do this accurately. You know, I really don't know that much about, you know, when somebody gets sentenced for X amount of years, how much of that time are they obligated to do, and, you know, that whole bit. And so we'll talk about it more on Monday. Forgive me, okay? Yeah. Okay, good. In the meantime, big shakeups in Atlanta for the Housewives show. Porsha had to turn her peach in. She's been downgraded to... Lady, she said, and you gave me the how you doing hands at the same time. Porsha, they took her peach away and downgraded her to a friend of the Housewives. Well, the producers say that they were fed up with her violent behavior. But there was only that one fight. I mean, she learned her lesson from that. You know, is Porsha boring on this? Maybe it's boring. Like she really didn't have a storyline. But you know, Porsha is on that radio show with Dish Nation. So in my opinion, Porsha now has the best of both worlds. They say that Porsha did not want to share her personal life on the Housewives show. Well, you know, that's what these shows are all about. So if you're not going to share your personal life, and if they're fed up with you fighting, then those are two negatives. She turned it into a positive, though, because now she's got the best of both worlds. So she's on the Housewives show. Yeah, she's just a friend, but still, that frees up the rest of her day to be on the radio and on Dish Nation. You know? So they replaced Porsha's position with model and friend to the show, Claudia Jordan. Well, now that's a good one. I'm going to tell you why. Because Claudia and Kenya are besties. Can you imagine the two of them walking into a bar? These two beauties, you know, walking into a bar, like the men all pause and the women clutch their pearls. It's nice, though, that Kenya now has a partner in crime, and together the two of them are going to just make Atlanta hellified. And even worse for Porsha, it looks like Claudia has taken quite the interest in Porsha's ex-husband, Cordell. I've got the receipt. It's our hot clip of the day. Roll it.
She's so cute. Yes, she is.
Let me get your information.
Here's to the next Mrs. Stewart. You're trying to provoke me. This is not gonna work.
You're a whore. Hollywood ain't looking for you.
Well, Atlanta is. That's why you're so bothered.
What?
With a husband going to jail, that's a divorce. Here we go. Booyah!
She's having an affair with some guy.
Phaedra is having an affair with some African man named Chocolate.
And who is Mr. Chocolate? The man that you've been sleeping with.
I built this whole mother house. Stop playing with me, Phaedra. You took everything from me.
Go away from me with this.
It's gonna be good. It looks like this is going to be the most tasteless ratchet season ever, which you guys love it. The Real Housewives of Atlanta returns November 9th at 8 o'clock on Bravo. Bravo! Bravo! Oh, Ariana Grande. Young lady, please. She's trying to squash rumors that she's feuding with Mariah Carey. Ariana reportedly bans anyone, we've talked about this before on Hot Topics, they've talked about it every place, bans anyone who from even mentioning Mariah's name in her presence. But here is what Ariana told Us Weekly magazine, and see if you can detect the shade in the statement. Okay, she says, Mariah has been a huge influence on me since I was a little girl. I've even done a cover of one of her songs. I don't think there are any negatives to being compared to one of the greatest vocalists of all time. It's honestly a great honor. Where's the shade? Little girl, exactly. Because everybody knows that Mariah can't deal with getting older. And if you want to get her to drinking and worrying, all you have to do is mention her age. Which, you know, I will never quite understand because Mariah looks great for 43 years old. You know, she's had 2 kids, a very long career, and some very late nights, you know, and I think that she looks terrific. There was shade from this young lady. I don't believe a word of it. I do believe that Ariana, based on all the different stories that we've now heard, has that diva thing where she only wants to be photographed on one side of her face and don't mention Mariah's name and stuff. Why, I have a story about Mariah. I don't think I ever told you that. Oh, this is not the story that I was gonna share with you, but this is a story. You know, it was like last year this time, she didn't want to be recognized for 2 decades of charity work because Mariah felt that 2 decades makes her sound 43. You know, isn't that sad? It's not like she's a bad 43. She might be kooky, but she's a nice looking woman. Anyway, Mariah, as long as people know what your Achilles heel is, they're gonna continue to dig at it. Poor thing. Usher left The Voice because, you know, he wanted to focus on his music career, making music and touring and things like that. And I didn't think that this was a horrible idea, you know, but it turns out it's the worst idea ever because his music career is not doing well at all. Say, tickets for his world tour reportedly aren't selling well at all. The estimates are so bad the promoters can lose as much as $5 million. And I was trying to think, why is this? Why is this? And then I said, bingo. It's because Usher does not appeal to the kids in that buy a ticket for a concert way. And his core audience is probably about 37 years old, 40 years old. Well, they're busy with other responsibilities, like a bad economy, children, and they're not interested in going to an Usher concert, unfortunately. So he's at that really weird space where there's not, I mean, like the young kids, they care about Chris Brown and you know, the young set. Usher also does not have an edge. Usher, for the most part, is a good, clean guy. These kids these days, you know, they want somebody with tattoos on their faces, you know, fighting and stabbing and shooting and stuff. And that's their idea of an edgy, singer. And Usher, unfortunately, is not that guy, and I say that positively. As a matter of fact, Usher is a divorcee, and he's also a single dad, which is, a turnoff sometimes, like, to the younger kids, and the rest of us are too busy paying our bills to buy a ticket or an album. So this is very unfortunate. I think, Usher and I, hi Usher, how you doing? Usher and I have, been through our thing in the past, based on, my radio career and whatnot. But, we've always had a meeting of the minds, and I do think that Usher is attractive, and I do think that Usher is super talented, and I do love, like, I am shocked that, and I can't think of the name of the two songs, but he has two songs on the radio right now. One of them I really, really like, but it peaked at number 89 on the Billboard charts. Peaked! Like when your song peaks at number 89, like, really? So I'm sorry that this is happening, but it's the climate of the music industry, and too bad you quit The Voice, because that was a really sweet job, but now you can't go back because, maybe if one of the judges sucked, one of the new judges, then, they fire that judge and bring Usher back. But Pharrell's doing a really great job, and everybody loves Gwen Stefani. Adam Levine's not going anyplace, and neither is Blake Shelton. So Usher, I'm sorry to hear about what's going on. I really am. You don't deserve that. But and it was mentioned in my Hot Topics meeting. Do you think his wife being on that Atlanta Exes show is hurting his career? I said no. I don't think. Wait, clap if you think his wife being on Atlanta Exes is hurting his career. His ex-wife. Really? She talks a lot of junk. But is she talking junk about Usher? A little bit of junk. So some of my co-hosts think that her being on this show is affecting his career. I've never seen this show, so I don't know. I'm just disgusted. Well, yeah, I told you I've changed my TV watching habits. I'm growing up. Taylor Swift has been single for almost 2 years. And she's finally explaining why. Here's what she told the British Vogue. Dating or finding someone is the least thing on my mind because I can't picture how it would work with the way my life is. I don't know how a guy is supposed to walk next to his girlfriend when there are 20 men with cameras and he can't protect her. Well, I'll tell you why, because you're dating boys, not men. All I'm saying is a real man knows how to defend his meat with one roar. Roar! But I don't blame her, because I think we all dated boys when we were, 21 years old? She's 24? Okay, well, she's entitled. But look at her and Harry Styles. His pants are tighter than hers. And the way his hair is curling ever so gently out of that hat, that boy is not protecting her from 20 paparazzis or the killer. As a matter of fact, she might have to protect him. That's all. Good luck with your love life, Taylor. You're 24 years old and you're beautiful. And by the way, you look really good on the cover of that Vogue magazine. You really do. Would you give up a career you love for your kids? Clap if you would. Well, I think it depends. If you're Alyssa Milano, of course, this is a rich lady problem. Hi, Alyssa. I'm just saying, Alyssa, I'm just saying. Okay, so she announced that she's leaving her hit ABC show, Mistresses. She's leaving the show, which is a big deal because her character is part of the cliffhanger from last season that'll, usher in the new season. But the show's moving production from LA, where Alyssa lives with her husband and their 2 children, to Toronto, Canada. Well, it's cheap to film up in Toronto. I know, that's where we filmed the Aaliyah movie. Saying you go where the tax break is. Anyway, look, here's what she says. She says, it's with a heavy heart that I have decided that I can't relocate. I have 2 babies under 4. Being a mother and a wife comes first, and I just cannot uproot my children and separate the family by moving away. Okay, well. That is very, very admirable, and if most of us had this choice, then it'd be a lot easier to make. Her children are under 4 years old, I get it. But she also is sitting on that who's the boss money, the charmed money. You understand what I'm saying? Rich lady problems. This is like a rich lady problem. And then she's married to an extremely high-powered, successful Hollywood agent whose clients include Terrence Howard and Bradley Cooper. So, and also, you know, Alyssa loves sports, and so for many years she's been, you know, the queen of this lady sporting goods company that makes sportswear that goes in at the waist and pops out at the boobs for us girls. So, you know, in other words, the lady is making money. Yes, she's quitting mistresses, but rich people problem. Wah, wah, wah. Good for you, Melissa. Yeah. Good for you. Oh my gosh, I've got something to show you. You're gonna gag. You know Magic Johnson's son, EJ. Show EJ. Okay, you know EJ. Well, that's EJ Johnson. Guess what? He got the gastric sleeve. Do you wanna see the results? Okay, now before we show the picture, let me just tell you, this happened just 1 month ago. Show the split screen, both pictures. I know! All of a sudden, his feet look gigantic, right? EJ, good for you. He got the gastric. That was the one thing that he was missing. I mean, he's such a lovely young man, and he's so fashionable, and he's got such great taste, but all that weight is just not healthy, and it's just not a good look. And in just this gastric sleeve, this is a miracle. Oh my, I'm gagging. The thing is, when you get these surgeries, though, you have to have money like EJ, because like insurance pays when you're morbidly obese, you know, to get stuff like that. But insurance, last time I checked, they don't pay for the cleanup, you know, all that hanging skin. Now, I have a friend who's light black, like Norman's color. Yes, light black. And he got one of the gastric things a few years ago. And the insurance paid for it. He was big like EJ, right? But he didn't save the money to get the cleanup surgery. See, insurance doesn't pay for the cleanup surgery. And usually when you're this big, you have to get an around the world. Like, you don't just get a tummy tuck. They have to tuck everything. You know what I mean? And you have so much skin hanging, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot that has to be cleaned up. And if you don't get that cleaned up, do you know what happens to your skin? Instead of staying the color of Norman, now the skin underneath is like the color of Norman's shirt. Black. And it's smelly. Well, you can imagine all that trapped sweat under the meat. Look, I'm just saying, this is a cautionary tale. If you're going to get one of these intervention surgeries, you make sure that you have money for your around the world and all the tucking. Otherwise, you'll be left with all that smelly, dark meat. And that's not sexy. Sorry, I know it's early. I hope you're not eating your breakfast. Ramona, everybody, Ramona Singer can't seem to get away from her husband, her ex-husband, Mario. They're not officially divorced yet, though, so it'd be soon to be ex-husband. Remember, Ramona kicked Mario out of their apartment when she allegedly found out that he was still seeing his young girl mistress. Well, his lawyers advised him that to move back in the apartment or risk losing the apartment in the divorce. I don't know why he moved out to begin with. I remember when I was married to that man, and I wanted to move out. And my lawyer said, no, Wendy, that's alienation of affection. And you know, that puts the winning the divorce thing in his court. So I moved back in, and it was a 1-bedroom apartment. I stayed on the couch. Thank God I didn't catch the scoliosis. Anyway, you know, it's just, and then this is really weird because we're moving into the holiday season and we've seen the inside of the apartment, you know. It's a 2-bedroom apartment, a lovely place in Manhattan, a 2-bedroom apartment. There's no wings or anything. 1 bedroom is Ramona and her soon-to-be ex-husbands, and 1 is Avery, their daughters. Avery's 19, she's away at college. But the kids come home at Thanksgiving, so then where is dad gonna sleep? Like, how's that all going to work during the holidays? Now they have that big gigantic house out in the Hamptons. Now that has wings. This is fabulous. But everybody's cooped up in the New York apartment. Awkward. Yeah. Sorry to hear about that, Ramona.